We're delighted to have with us the Mayor of Schaumburg, Al Larson. Al, welcome to the show.
Well, I'm delighted to be here.
And you are here always following the Schaumburg Business Association's Good Morning Schaumburg breakfast in January.
Yeah.
And that went well. It was a full house.
It was a pretty good crowd. It was interesting. I mean, I didn't realize how many people I knew, or how many people knew me.
Well, there are 600 and some businesses that are members of the SBA these days.
It keeps growing too, doesn't it?
It keeps growing, right. And speaking of SBA, I mean, you were really the idea was yours to form
Actually,
the SBA.
it wasn't. No, it was kind of a shared idea. Really, it was. It was. Doc Peterson mentioned it, Larry Mazzeffi, and then Brian Burke. Certainly Larry Mazzeffi and Brian Burke were some of the early promoters of having a Chamber of Commerce just for Schaumburg. Everybody else had one, and we didn't.
Right. We were kind of part of the regional old Nancy days, but it's 10 years now, and it's been a wonderful organization and really done, I think, good things for. It's a nice partnership between the SBA and the village.
But Laurie Stone, I think, has got to be getting a lot of credit for that. She set the tone for that kind of relationship between the business community and the village of Schaumburg, and certainly it's good to have a strong chamber. It's good to have a chamber dedicated just to the village of Schaumburg. We have so many businesses in town, and not just, we have more Japanese businesses in town than any other town in Illinois.
Wow.
And as a matter of fact, the Chicagoland Japanese Chamber of Commerce has their annual lunch in Schaumburg.
They do?
At the Renaissance.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Oh, sure.
Terrific.
And they always invite me to it. They have the last several years, and they've invited me back, so I guess I haven't screwed up so much. But it's the trouble with that is they have this entertainer that comes out and speaks Japanese.
Oh. So you have to laugh along with everybody when you get the cue?
You kind of try to at least not look contented anyway.
Yeah, right. And talking about the SBA and the businesses and so forth, there's a lot of business development within the last year and still coming up.
Yeah, there is. And restaurateurs are still looking at locations in Schaumburg. That's encouraging. And a lot of that, I think, is a result of our having a convention center. That convention center generates ancillary business. It attracts restaurateurs. It brings people to shop in our shops. Hotels maintain our interest. We haven't lost any hotels, unlike some of our other communities in Cook County. Our 25 hotels are still there.
Right. This is a tough time for them.
Oh, I was talking
and all the businesses.
I was talking to Jim Gould, manager of the Hyatt, prior to the meeting this morning, and I asked him how business was. He said it was fabulous.
Really?
Yeah, had a really great month. Really great month.
Well, good.
Oh yeah, it was very good. It was very good.
Wow, I'm pleased to hear that.
Oh, me too. Me too.
Yeah, I bet.
And convention center still moving along. It's not as great a pace as it was the previous 2 years, but it's doing better than maybe it should. But doing fine.
That's good. I know that 2 new stores upcoming soon to open that you've been looking forward to, and that is the Whole Foods and the Crate and Barrel.
That was the old Homemakers furniture store.
Yeah.
And when they first came in, Bob Atcher at a village board meeting that I happened to be at, chastised them for putting up a Butler building next to the Woodfield Mall. Yeah. So for years we've been trying to redevelop that property with something more appropriate. And finally, after saying no often enough, we got somebody to come forward that we could say yes to. Whole Foods is coming, is there. It's going to be opening in April. Crate and Barrel furniture store is going to be opening in February. I'm not sure when this show is going to open, but
yeah, well, in time for those.
Yeah, it's a great attraction too.
Yes, they are. Whole Foods just brings in lots of people, and certainly the Crate and Barrel is dedicated to. It's going to include the furniture.
Absolutely,
line, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it's a bigger store, and lovely buildings too.
Yeah, we have Buffalo Wild Wings is looking for a location in town. Tilted Kilt. Is it Tilted Kilt? It sounds like a ride, isn't it?
It does sound like a ride.
Tilted Kilt. It's Tilted Kilt, which kind of I'm sure is a Scott kind of theme with the kilts. And
do you have a skirt?
Do I have I have one?
Yeah. Have you worn a skirt?
Are you asking if I dress up when nobody's around? I mean,
is what I'm referring to.
I have the hold on Sam. No, no, I don't. No,
No. I can't think. Is it Tilted Skilt? Oh, what is it? Tilted Kilt?
Tilted Skilt.
Okay. Well, we'll have to go there and see what it's all about.
Absolutely, absolutely, and maybe get Tom Daly to come. He's a Scotsman.
Oh, there you go.
And his dad,
right.
he's a Scotsman. He's got this great burr, Brogue is Irish and burr is Scots.
Oh, right. I didn't know that.
Oh, well, see.
Now I know.
Everybody
see the
learns
things
something.
that we learn
this is a great show.
on the Go Show.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. You write wonderfully well, and often, or if not for every issue, in the Natural Enquirer, which is the Park District's nature letter, and for the Spring Valley Nature Club, you write a piece.
Yes, I do.
And it's about
yes, I have, and yes, I do.
Really detailed about nature, some aspect of it. And how do you get your inspiration for those things and your knowledge and your expertise?
Well, I do research in terms of the knowledge part. I want to make certain that whatever I say about wildlife or about nature, it has some validity, and the rest of it is just kind of rhetorical. It's rhetoric. It's I try to make the language flow and the words flow and work together. And yet, when somebody when somebody reads it, that they come away with a little bit of knowledge about what's going on.
And really, you feel it. I mean, I feel like I'm right in the scene with whatever it is you're talking about. Now, your home backs up to one of our nature areas.
Oak Hollow.
And you were just telling me about a coyote that you witnessed.
Yeah. About a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, we had a coyote that spent, in total, maybe 45 minutes in my backyard. Sniffing, his nose right into the snow, sniffing, and then would stop and look straight up like this, like it's catching something else in here, and then go back down again, and looking for, I'm sure, mice through the. I'm sure they could smell mice through the snow. Got something at the edge of the field, and my whole backyard backs up to Oak Hollow. Part of it is a field, the other part is the woods, is the trees, and that is the finest natural area the Park District has. It's never been plowed. Oak and hickory forest. It's got. In the spring, when I used to walk through there, but not anymore. People, see the strange guy walking back in the woods. So, but in the spring, the entire forest floor is covered with wildflowers.
Wow!
Just kind of glows. Dutchman's breeches, trout lily. I've found Jack in the pulpit back there, Virginia waterleaf. Some really fine examples of native flora.
And you have always been interested in nature. I mean, even you're a supporter of the Spring Valley when the Park District started to piece that together and so forth. And how did you develop your interest in nature?
Well, I was raised in Chicago, northwest side of Chicago, and we had these empty fields that we called the prairie. I'm going to go play in a prairie, and that's got to be like an oral history. It goes back for generations when it was a prairie. But the kids, we're going to go play in a prairie. And we used to catch spiders with these big, we call them Atlanta spiders, but I think they're orb weavers. And you get a jar, mason jar, and you put the jar in one end and the cap on the other, and you catch a spider. Now, there were times when you'd kind of misjudge it, and the spider would end up on your hand.
Spider would catch you.
Oh, my heavens, yes. We used to catch garter snakes, and little green snakes we call them greenies. And they're an example of the health of an ecosystem when greenies are there. But the garter
it's
snake,
healthy if there's greenies?
Yeah. There's greenies, the green snake, smooth green snake, garter snakes. We used to catch crabs, crayfish. They're not crabs, but crayfish. And you'd find that the mounds that they would on their tunnel, like the water table was high enough where they could live down there. And we used to catch those. And one of the ways to catch them would be to get some liver, let it age a little bit, and kind of lower it down into this, and wait, and then wait, and then wait. And then you pull it up and you get a crayfish.
Wow.